Hello and welcome to yet another guitar channel. I'm Anya and this is the Enya Inspire. Now the Enya Inspire is from Enya Guitar Company. You would have seen I reviewed the Enya Novasonic Go a while back, which is like a travel guitar version of this. And I had a criticism of the fact that it wasn't very easy to gig with. That was my only real criticism of it. About a week after I released that, this got released into the West and it addressed that issue. My issue was that the scale length was a bit funny, so when I got up the dusty end I got a bit lost. This addresses that and I'll sort of explain why in a second, but I will tell you a little bit about it. This is a carbon fibre composite guitar. It is built all in one, so the body, the neck and the fretboard and the headstock and everything are all one moulded piece, so there's no kind of breaks or anything. The neck is a soft C into a V with a nice taper. You have 24 nickel frets with a 0 fret. You have a moulded nuts, which I'll talk about in a mo. You have humbucker single configuration with a coil tap on the, or coil split, sorry, on the humbucker. There's ceramic pickups, standard 5-way selector, volume control with the coil tap, tremolo system with a floating trem and a push-in bar, standard inline tuners, adjustable trem system. You have like a little tool that comes with it that has a bar that allows you to adjust the tightness on the trem and also the truss rod as well as the action on the bridge. And yeah, I mean that's kind of the basic stats on this. It is a, I'm just going to read this now, it is a full 24 3/4 inch scale length, weighs in at 11 pounds, which is a bit heavier than the travel version. Anything else that's interesting on there? No, not really. Not that I can see for the time being. Oh, 12 inch fretboard radius. Okay, cool. Feels quite flat actually, but that's nice. Now when we're talking about this being all in one, I'm going to get some other, you know, there's obviously this bit here and the lighty thing. The nut is moulded in, which I'm not crazy about. I wasn't crazy about the other one being moulded, but it is what it is. The 0 fret covers a lot of the problems for that. The fretboard is the carbon fibre and it feels great. It doesn't, you don't feel like you're playing a non-traditional guitar because it just feels like it's a painted neck or like but it feels satin, it's not glossy, which is I love. The tremolo system's really good. I might tighten it up a little bit because it is a little bit kind of sensitive. I think I'm still in tune from the last time I played it. But then of course we've got the other bits. So we have a speaker and built-in effects. Now the way this is all controlled through an app is exactly the same as the other Enya that I reviewed. So I'm not going to go into the app and show you all the effects. What I will say is I'm going to be recording this only through this speaker into the camera. I'm not plugging into anything. I'm going to use the effects that I've currently got set up, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, I'm not using any of the connectivity. You've got Bluetooth connectivity, which I'll talk about later. You've got 3/4 inch jack out to play it as a standard guitar. So when you plug it into an amp, if this is on, it plays with the effects and the cab sim and everything. If it's off, it just plays like a guitar. You've got a headphone socket and you've got a USB socket that allows you to recharge it, and I think you can record with it as well. The volume control on here works the same way as a standard guitar volume does. So if you think about the fact that this is the guitar, this is the amp, when you reduce the volume on here, the output coming into the amp is lower, then this controls the amp volume. When you're plugged in directly to an amp and this is switched off, this acts like another volume control, so they're both just a volume control then. Speaker is 15 watt now, where the original one was 10, and I think it might even be 2 speakers in there. I can't quite figure it out because it's a wider sound hole. So it sounds louder, it sounds bigger. The effects and everything are exactly the same as the Go. the technology in this is slightly better. The Bluetooth is much better, and you can get this add-on, which is a foot switch that allows you to, rather than tapping this, do instant changes with the foot switch, which we'll come to in a sec. But basically, once this is switched on, you press these two buttons, it connects up, and then it will basically switch between the effects that you've got set up. I'll have that on the floor to play with in a mo. So let's go through the effects. I'm set up with a clean, a slightly dirty, a distortion, and kind of an echoey lead. I may tune up for all of our sakes just quickly. Okay, so here is the kind of clean tone. If I flick through the pickup selector, it does the Strat thing in position 4. It also has, as I said, the coil tap, so which means you can get the traditional position 2 sound. It does what it's supposed to. It does a coil split. You know, they're never going to be as good as a single coil in that situation, but I much prefer the flexibility of having a humbucker there. So let me go into the next one. And then if I turn down the guitar's volume, so that affects the output from the guitar into the amp, and then this one just changes the actual volume. Now with the foot switch, I can go in real time through these. Which I think is quite cool, because it means that you don't have to hit this constantly to change between things, which when you're playing along to a jam track or you're rehearsing or practicing is quite useful, because it's not a natural thing to do to change effects by pressing this. And if I was really brave, you could probably get away with doing a gig by literally having a wireless output going from your 3 1/4 inch jack straight into the mixing desk. Because it's got the cab sims and everything built in, and you're using the pedal, you could probably get away with that. I'd love to feel I was brave enough to do that, but I'm not. So it sounds cool. The sounds in this are really big, like the last one, you know, bigger because it's louder. So yeah, really, really cool in that respect. Now, one of my favourite features about this is that the Bluetooth is really good. So I can play this into Bluetooth headphones directly. I can also play from a phone or a computer, play a backing track straight into it, which means I can jam to just this. So what you need to do is you pair it with whatever device it's going to be, you double tap this to go into pairing mode, and then it comes up as an extra speaker. So in this case, it's a Bluetooth headphone. And I'm using Jimi Hendrix Blue Star backing track for guitar in E flat from Rock On Jam Tracks. and so on. One of the weird things about this is because the speaker is right next to the pickups, you get this happen. You get a lot of feedback from it, only when the speaker's active. But that leads to some really fun things because it becomes its own little sustainer. So it actually makes the string vibrate because of the way that it's all set up. So although it's probably not meant to do that, it is quite fun. And there is a noise gate in the effects that allow you to cut some of that out. All in all, it's a really playable guitar. It plays just as well as a lot of my more expensive guitars. It's got a really lovely neck. It's got a great scale length. It sounds good plugged in as just a standard guitar. I used it at rehearsal the other day and loved it. It's going to be a lot of fun to gig because it is still quite light. It's £11, but it doesn't feel heavy. The scale length is good. 24 frets is nice to have. Frets feel great because they are embedded straight into the fretboard. Same things as the other guitar, you know, the fact that the fretboard is all one piece with a neck. I don't know how you'd replace frets when they wear out. I'd love to see this have stainless steel frets instead, really. Price range puts it up into a low Fender, high Squire kind of price range. I'd love to have a separate nut because, again, if you're to drop this and break the nut, you're going to have to like rebuild this and glue it all back together again. But really what you're getting for the price of a low-end Fender is a really high-end feeling guitar with a built-in speaker, built-in effects, decent floating trem, decent stability, a fantastic neck that you can jam through, busk with, go straight into an amp. As I said, you could theoretically play it without having to have any other effects. You might even, thinking about it, be able to set it up so that you've got the noise gate built into the guitar, but no other effects, and maybe like a chorus or something that you could just switch on from the guitar. Might have to try that. And then have that go into the amp as well, without having all the speakers in it. You can turn everything off in the amp. So all in all, a really good guitar. Sounds fun, plays fun, is fun, and I actually really recommend you go and try one of these. I'm desperate to try one of their acoustics as well, because I think if the electrics ready to go by, the acoustics should be fantastic. But have you played one? Have you got one? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Have you gigged with it? Love to hear what you think about it. I'm really happy with it. I'm going to be gigging it next month for the first time, so I'll let you know how that goes. In the meantime, like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you all again very soon. Cheers!